I'd like to continue to emphasize with you the evolving nature of what was called partnering sessions and is now called covenanting sessions and listening sessions that have been conducted in our family churches in Canadian Baptist of Western Canada these 4.5 years. We began with regional ministers working with John Prosiak, Faye Reynolds, and Ryan Sato, leading in worship to just honor a gracious and giving God who is faithful to us and who, with that faithfulness, we carry an expectation of how we might be yet faithful still. So, what we have done is in the first cycle, first 2 years, we asked several questions. What has God called you to? What resources has He given you for that call? What resources do you still yet need? And finally, how might we covenant and commit together to work together in seeing those callings made real? The subsequent questions, what we used to do originally, we had people report from different churches. And you know, John and each of the regional ministers at that time, Rob Ogilvie and Sam Brakey and Ken Thiessen, were very concerned that we asked churches to reflect on their context. And they came up with two very brilliant things. They asked churches how they're serving the community, how God is alive and present in their community, a variety of questions like that. You get the drift of it. But they also did a wonderful thing. They broke people down into partnerships when we had the listening sessions. So there'd be 3 groups, for instance, of maybe a dozen people each to talk about those kinds of activities together. And they built bonds of relationship and understanding and go-forwards that were not available to us in the original pattern. So we're looking again at what those might be. We've had about 90% of our churches be involved in the listening sessions along the way, which is just great. Not every year people can come, but it's very encouraging. For instance, some are latecomers, but very, very involved. Southwest community in Kamloops came for the first time to the Okanagan. The Okanagan session, it had an extra meeting attached to it, was one of 2 times that every church in a region came together for a session. So we encourage you in these things and hope that you will anticipate what we will do in the future in these things. And that your church, and maybe even you, will be involved in a partnering, listening, worshiping time in 2011 together with the family churches called the Canadian Baptist of Western Canada. God be with you. Amen.